You are listening to the new Scum Fix, your source for all that is the words, art, music, and life of the new Scum. With your hosts, Zach Elmblad and Ken Kennedy. Copyright 2009, The New Scum Productions.
Today is Sunday, May 24th, and you are indeed listening to the new Scum Fix. I'm Zach Elmblad.
I am Ken Kennedy.
And we're here once again in our fourth week of recording this little show for you guys today, just to kind of give you some insight into the words, art, life, and music, and everything about the new Scum. Pretty much me and Kenny just sit behind microphones and rant and tell stories, but that's essentially what the new Scum exists as, is a group of friends and collaborators that try to get together as much as we can and sit around and smoke cigarettes and talk about things of any nature, really.
Mostly intellectual things.
We try. Sometimes it gets a little heady with the toilet humor, but whatever.
We try to talk about smart things, even though I might swear a little.
Smart people have to take shits, too. And fart.
It happens.
It does happen. Even if you don't want to admit it readily.
It's hilarious to think of a celebrity, like, taking a dump.
Yeah, like a awful dump, too. Just like, you know, maybe drank too much last night, or like sick dump or something.
Whiskey and Mexican food?
Yeah. Yeah, that one's never pleasant.
You're basically just looking at the ground and regretting your choices.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, man. You know, at 11 p.m. or 1 a.m.
You're not thinking about your intestinal tract.
No, dude, you are thinking about whiskey and Mexican food. And then in the
like,
morning...
I need some fucking burritos.
Yeah, in the morning, you'd rather be thinking, like, biscotti and coffee.
But all you're thinking is black diarrhea.
Yeah, all you're thinking is, Christ, I actually woke up. Man.
Where was I?
Where was I? Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, you spend the first couple hours of your morning trying to put pieces back together. Like, you see a bunch of things around the house just kind of upturned, and
for some reason your pants are in the kitchen.
Yeah, anything, man. Or
you don't know why.
Yeah, or you were supposed to be to work at 10 a.m. and it's now 2:51 p.m. and you can't find your pants either.
Yeah, it makes for a good day.
Yeah, man, a real good day of puking outside work in a garbage can, you know, or...
Hey, here's something for you. Where's the... I don't know about where, but what's the funniest vessel you've ever seen, or yourself, some puking?
Puking?
Yeah, like funny, like probably mine is a good friend of mine, Rob. I watched him puke into a really big plastic mixing bowl, like dude mix like cake mix or brownie mix in.
I'd probably say the coolest puke I've ever seen was the first time I ate mushrooms, like psilocybin mushrooms. I puked, like, I had eaten fucking Arby's or something. Like, I know you've got stories about me puking up Arby's anyway, but it happened a lot. And, I think I had been eating Arby's or something, and you know, you puke when you eat mushrooms, or at least I do, man. I can't get along with mushrooms at all. I try, but it just doesn't work.
You don't even like normal mushrooms.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Pizza.
I mean, I like them, dude, but I don't know what the deal is. You know, I'll eat them every once in a while, but not all the time. And usually, like, if I have mushrooms, it's cooked with onions on a steak or something, you know?
Yeah, if I remember right, you just put them between peanut butter and bread.
Yeah, and jelly. Because actually Seth made those for us. It was me and my buddy Stan, and we ended up at Seth's house. We had been shooting off fireworks in our friends' lawns at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we ended up just going back to his house, and he was like, dude, I was just buying an ounce of shrooms or something. I can't remember the quantity. And some fucking asshole lit off a bunch of firecrackers in my lawn while the drug dealer was here. And he started flipping out, thinking the cops were here, or there was like a shoot up going on or something like that. Like, it is some ridiculous story. I'm like, oh, dude, that was just us throwing firecrackers in your lawn and speeding away because we were drunk.
So what happened? What happened to you when you took them?
I sat there for like 3.5 hours and just watched TV and dicked around on the internet.
When did you puke?
I puked about 3 hours later, and that's when I started tripping balls. Is when I puked. Like I was taking a shit. I mean, what else are you gonna do? And all of a sudden, I look down, like this little piece of tape just starts crawling around the floor, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm tripping. And I just yell at Stan. I'm like, dude, I'm tripping. And he's like, oh, it took long enough. And then I stood up and I was like, ugh, and I just turned around and just puked right into the sink, and it clogged up the sink because it was chunky. And so the whole damn sink was just full of puke, and I've got this picture of me just kind of like proudly standing next to it with no shirt on. Just like, look what I just did. I'm on drugs. Whoa. But yeah, no, I can't. I puked, or I puked at Chrissy's apartment, man. I puked red wine all over her white couch. That was cool. And I was so drunk, I thought I was puking blood, so I called Kevin to come pick me up.
Murder scene.
Yeah, dude. I feel so bad about that, man. I didn't talk to him for like 6 months. Chrissy or her roommate. I was so embarrassed, man.
You gave him a gradient.
Yeah, dude, every time I hang out with those chicks, I just get ridiculously trashed and end up like passing out in one of their beds or something. Like the last time I hung out at her sister's house, at Katie's house, I didn't even remember going there. Like I woke up. Yeah, I woke up and there's all these people around me. I was in some strange bed with tapestries everywhere. I was like, what the fuck is this shit, dude? Where am I? Like, I've done that so many times. I just wake up somewhere, but everywhere I wake up, there always seems to be tapestries there. So like, that's the one little thing that like makes me feel comfortable when I wake up and I know I'm somewhere safe, is there's some tapestry nearby that I can kind of look at and be like, okay, hippies are here. That means no one like did anything crazy to me. You know?
Why someday later on you're gonna have the same feeling, because you'll wake up and you'll see that pattern, but it'll actually be the carpet of the hotel floor, and you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm at a hotel. I'm safe. I'm not on the street.
Yeah, dude. I've had a couple of those too, man. Vegas will do that to you.
2-foot margarita.
Yeah, which you have to sequentially fill with Jim Beam. I think we talked about that a little while ago too. Yeah,
that's just a good mental image.
Man,
look at me! I'm carrying almost a 3-foot margarita.
Now that I think about it, I have really passed out in some weird places, man. Like, have you ever passed out on a beach? That's weird.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, passing out on a beach is weird as shit, dude. You wake up sunburnt and sandy. And you really don't know where you are, because you look up and all you can see is sky and you hear water. You're like, what the fuck?
You're hot, you're sandy, you don't know where you are.
Yeah. Obviously the headache comes after the Jack and Cokes on the beach that made you pass out.
You're even more dehydrated.
Yeah, everyone's speaking Arabic. That was weird, man. That's really fucked up, dude, to pass out and wake up not knowing where you are and not hearing the language of the obviously big group of people that's around you. You're like, whoa, that's Arabic. Oh, yeah.
Maybe you fell asleep in front of like the window of an Indian grocery store. You're just lying on a bed of rice, sitting in the window. They just haven't called the cops because they don't know what to do.
That was Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. That place was cool as fuck, dude. Man, liquor was so expensive, though. Unless you got Egyptian liquor, like Jack Daniels.
They don't like booze. It's real kind of faux pas out there.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. They're not big fans of alcohol in the slightest. Like, you had to pay a premium, and it took you a long time to find a place to buy alcohol. But that's the thing about Egypt, is it's not so indoctrinated into the Islamic stuff that, like, they have people from Europe and people from America there all the time. So they have those type of things available to you.
Are all the women hiding?
No, most of them, though. That was crazy.
Is that because the sun, though, or is that because of the beliefs?
Dude, the weirdest thing about it, man, and I guess I can get back to the question, but the thing with the chicks wearing burqas is the guys will go by and catcall them. You know, like whistle and shit and yell at them in Arabic.
Look at that eye skin.
Yeah, no, hey, Sharmuta, which is like, whore or something. And if she's not wearing a burqa or whatever, like, it's so weird, man. And, I, like, being a world traveler and stuff like that, like, you kind of have to keep the guise of respecting the cultures that are going on around you, but you can't help but just be like, man, fuck, dude, I bet these chicks could be cool as all shit, you know? Like, I could party with them on a Friday night, but like...
Well, yeah, they get, like, the world and nature way better than
Yeah,
an
dude, but
American would just on the opposite.
Yeah, you take your mask off and you're a fucking whore. Like, that's seriously how like, they look at it like they're protecting their women. Like, it's protecting them, you know, from guys catcalling them and shit like that.
But it's them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and
we're gonna protect you from us.
Well, yeah, and that shows you how different the sentiment is, because Americans are just like, hey, if you got it, flaunt it. And in the Islamic community, it's if you own it, hide it. You know, and that really is the mentality. You know, the wife is the beautiful, like, endowed upon, like, vessel of your child. Like, you know, that's, and
don't be proud of that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's, you know, you have to understand that different people think differently, but, you know, when you sit, yeah, I know, but when you sit around and just think about these oppressed people, you know, just sit, like, you're not allowed to show your face in public because you are a possession, you know? Like, that's so dehumanizing.
Because you're the
disgusting.
other gender.
Yeah, the other. Like, yeah, male and other. There's no male and female. It's male, other.
You got tails.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Yeah, and it is 50-50, dude. Like, it's 50-50, men versus women. Maybe it's 54-46 on any given year or day.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a generally 50-50 mix. You got guys,
There's
you got
more
chicks.
girls, but it's still guy dominant. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what the numbers are. It's always gonna be male dominant.
Yeah.
Just the
well, I mean, and there
power
and societies exist that are maternalistic, like, or, you know, I forget the other anthropological word for it, but, you know, they have, women are the dominant force and the men are the ones that, but it's still like, you know, the women go out and hunt and the men sit and take care of the children or something like that. You know, like, there's still some weird disparity, and it's wrong either way you look at it. Like, whenever it's someone oppressing someone else just because of something that they can't help, like, oh fuck, your sex organs go out and mine go in, so now, you know, now one of us is better and we can't decide who, but we're different, so one of us has to be better, you know? And that's the weird fucking thing that's permeated itself throughout all of mankind, and
some places don't even have the question. It's just instantly male.
Instantly.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Like, is Islam?
Yeah.
there is no question.
Yeah.
And those people believe in that.
I think was it in that Dawkins documentary that we were watching where he ends up going into a mosque and they're like, we love our women. There's a special place for them over there. And it's like the dark corner behind a statue or something.
It's an 8 by 8 foot square on one part of this wall. And it was almost a football field of towers and carpet and places for people to pray that looked amazing. Mm-hmm. And there's this dank spot on one small section of wall that's not clean, that has a woman praying in front of it, and they're vacuuming around her.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck does that say?
It was really sickening, dude. Like, ugh, oh man.
They're filming a documentary in there, so they're already letting them break rules.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
that's the rule that they stick by.
Of course. And they pick the weirdest fucking rules too, man. Like, you know, if you're in Egypt, you get woken up at 5 a.m. by the fucking guy standing on the minaret and just screaming out this prayer in Arabic, just yelling as loud as he possibly can. Or, you know, nowadays it's just a big speaker. So you hear the speakers click on and you get the, like, because they're pumping so much fucking wattage into that tiny little speaker, just because, you know, they're not playing music. They're playing.
Because they can only get a set of speakers.
Dude, I'll tell you, the sound of these people singing is the most beautiful thing on earth. Like, it really is gorgeous sounding. I loved hearing it as a musician, but, like, when I sat and thought about, like, this is the time, 5 times a day, where you have to stop whatever you're doing, and you have to literally get down on your knees and pray to something that you can't prove is real. Like, that is the most, I can go on all day about organized religion. That is like the most vulnerable time that anyone can exist in, you know? Like, when you are on your knees, totally giving yourself in some kind of ritualistic devotion.
You're
Just to anything, man. Anything. Like, I got my coffee cup. Like, we could put it on a pedestal and burn some incense and get down on our knees and pray to the coffee god. That is so ridiculous. It just makes me sick.
You're opening up the back of your neck. That's the ultimate vulnerability.
The Matrix shit. I mean, it works so well
from
to
ancient
talk about
times.
That. Oh,
like,
yeah.
that was the ultimate end spot. Like, you got in that, somebody cut your head off. Like, that's the one vulnerable spot.
You gotta wonder where in, like, you know, the big fucking Catholic Church, like, how far up in that shit do you have to get before they just face the facts and they're like, look, man, we've got all this infrastructure to support. We've got this long-standing history of being, like, the morally upstanding people, you know. This is just all one big fucking charade. Like, we are making sure that the people down there that don't understand this big, complex, multinational, global entity, you know, they just understand God. We are God. The Vatican is God. The Vatican invented God. The Vatican perpetuates the existence of God and the Catholic Church. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what's really sad, though? Like, honestly sad, is the guy that you'd meet on the street, and just as long as he's dressed normal, you'd think he was a pretty straight and legit dude, but then you find out he's like a pastor for a local type church, and you find out he's like the cool, awesome pastor who's been doing everything for everybody all throughout his life and whatnot, and just doing it for this cause. But I mean, he's getting taken advantage of by the people who are in the seats of power, and that it's kind of bothersome. Yeah,
with any kind of social group like that, you have the honestly good people and the honestly bad people. And the thing is that when you're in a group like that, they're gonna have the low level, the mid managers, you know, the priests, like you're saying, the parish priest. He's the leader of a community.
He's the leader of the local syndicate or franchise.
Right. Yeah, he's the guy that goes out there and spits the game, you know. And like, man, I grew up Catholic, obviously, blah blah blah. Like, our parish priest, I still respect the guy, man. I would feel bad talking shit about him, and not because, you know, for any particular reason other than he was an honestly good person. I mean, the guy actually gave a fuck about people, you know?
No, that's what I'm getting at. Like, is in this for that reason, but doesn't see things that don't necessarily affect him all the time, or a little bit, or
they legitimize it.
They just don't notice it even.
Yeah, they're going to say something to you like, well, your argument is God isn't real, and mine is God is real, but neither of us really know that. And you're like, yeah, man, but, you know, they're trying to put it in the smallest terms possible, just like you are. But you can't argue such big issues with two people that are just so fundamentally, you know, on the opposite side of things. You know, like, I can talk and sit, you know, with Father Mike all day long and talk about anything but religion. But the second that it comes up, he just knows, and I know, that we're not going to be able to get through to the other, because he's preaching something to me that I completely disagree with, and I would be preaching something to him that he completely disagrees with. So, I mean,
it's nice when
it's a moot point.
It's nice when you can meet somebody that is religious but doesn't talk about it, and for that that reason, they're like, yeah, you know what, I believe what I want to. You believe what you want to. I'm not going to get in the way of that. Don't get in the way of mine.
Yep.
And isn't it amicable?
Yeah, and isn't it lovely that we can live in a world like that?
It's too bad there's not more of them.
Yeah, man.
I have many people like that. I mean, I don't hate religion. I think it's needed. It's just not for me.
Yeah,
that's it.
No, totally not for me. You know, and
well, we know that.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, man. I'll never. Well, you know, I get drunk and start screaming about Satan, but it's all in jest. You know, I don't fucking burn candles and worship the devil. Like, you would have to believe in God to believe in the devil. That's ludicrous.
It's kind of a moot point.
Yeah, it's all a moot point, dude. Like, we've so transcended religion as something that's necessary. It's just something that you can do to feel part of a community, you know, like to feel as you are part of a community.
See, I walked up to the park today.
Yeah.
That's what I did for my Sunday.
Yeah. Did you meet anybody there?
I saw some dude that was looking at some kids, so I made sure he didn't, like, take one, but
Yeah.
no.
Right.
It was quiet and peaceful, and I heard birds and nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw people driving on the streets, which is my favorite thing. Because I look at those people and I think, what are they going to and doing right now at this specific point in time?
Yeah.
Just watching the humdrum and the...
And then you could always wonder who's watching you while you're driving.
Thinking the same thing.
Yeah, how many
Where's
times?
that guy going?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the...
'Cause there's that messed up truck I always see. Where's he doing now?
The guy in the cowboy hat. Wandering around Kalamazoo again.
I am the one guy in Southwest Michigan that wears a
Screaming
cowboy hat.
Megadeth lyrics. Driving 10 miles below the speed limit.
It's usually like 5. But I usually drive this. In town, I drive the speed limit because it's so damn slow.
Yeah. It is slow.
But I like to go 50 in a 55 when I can just cruise out in nature and the old roads where I used to live and just look at trees and see wildlife that's alive, not on the side of the road.
Dead.
The only time you see animals in the city is accidentally. Like, holy crap, there's some deer here. How the hell did they get here? They're going to get hit by a car.
Dude, I had an idea for a painting the other day. I sketched out. I think I'm going to stretch a canvas soon and start that one after I start painting this triptych. And I just want to have, like, look at some of my photographs from around the country and find a good landscape to paint with a road in it, and then just put roadkill on it. So it's like this nice picturesque kind of
Times Square?
Yeah. Oh, not Times Square. But like, well, I mean, that would be even funnier. I guess that's a juxtaposition right there, man. But I was just more along
like
the lines
wagons
thinking,
and horse shit and stuff.
yeah, what are we doing to this place? Like, you could go to the eco-friendly kind of thing, going, oh well, having this road here is killing our land and our animals, man. But it's still, that road got me there to see that land and those animals, you know. So it's a weird kind of.
I like looking at the pictures from the early 1900s when we just started getting cars, and the paths and trails weren't as carved out, and they were more vast and straight. The best thing, though, is seeing the pictures of the main cities and seeing how big the curbs were. Most people don't even understand why that is, why they were like 1.5 feet off the ground, and why so many people died in the first, like, 30 years of auto accidents, like, not in the vehicles, but outside the vehicles, because a lot of those cars, you stopped with the curbs. Like, you just put the wheel to the right into the curb and kept hitting it, and eventually it would stop you. Because they were like solid wheels.
That's fucking crazy.
So
like
people
before
would
they invent the handbrake.
Yeah, before brakes. We're going to invent how to go, but not how to stop.
Yeah, we got to figure out how to make this fucking thing stop. You can't stop the machine, man.
That's America. We're going to figure out how to go before we can figure out how to stop.
Wow. Yeah, that is
So
America.
people would just get hit all the time. People run into the backs of, like, horses.
Right. Yeah.
Just make for awesome old-timey photos.
I was talking to my dad the other day about paying taxes for my business, for the new Scum, you know. And he's talking, he goes, oh, yeah, the first year I started my business, I didn't realize that I had to file an income tax return quarterly. And I just kind of looked up and I was like, oh, fuck, you're right. I remember back, you know, in business in high school, like, that's how they get you, man. You know, that's why it's, I don't want to say important, but that's why it's helpful to go to college, because they teach you those dumb little things that you have to figure out trial and error because some asshole invented them to catch people like me.
Now, hold on. It's still important to go to college. No one said you had to stay. You have to see it.
Yeah.
You have to see it, because you're either going to say, oh my God, this shit is for me, and this is everything why I hated high school, and it's not like that. Mm-hmm. Or you can see it and say the exact same sentence and not ever go back.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not a fan of college, dude.
Man, I tried, but it just somewhere in there.
I love learning. I like reading books. I like having like a scholarly discourse with people, but everyone in college was a fucking idiot. Like, and they've got you signed up for these classes that you don't care about. So you got a science major in an art class. You got a 50-50 mix of kids that love art and kids that can't stand it but are being forced to take it, you know?
I think I stopped because I was going to a community college to save money. I did not have bad grades. I was just saving my parents' money. And I was going to start taking the math and science type classes. It pretty much knocked out all the other things. And I took some opening test type thing before you start there, just because you have to, because most people are coming off the street. They're 28 and never gone to college. You got to take an assessment test or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they didn't take any of the scores off of anything they took in college. They made me take this assessment test. And based on that assessment test, it said that I needed to take trigonometry. And I looked at the person that said that to me. And I actually said it like this. I said, "Hon, I just finished Calc 2 and took the AP test." Like, I took the test that said I can almost pass this class without being in college yet.
Yeah.
And they said they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, just because of your assessment.
I'm pretty sure I just calmly walked out without saying anything, and I don't think I ever went back.
Yeah.
Like, I was not comfortable with the fact that I had to take a lower class because they said I had to.
Yeah.
Not only have I already taken that, I've taken the 2 that are harder than that.
Yeah.
Then 3. I had pre-calculus.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was in trig and stat and all that. I never got to calc, that's kind of something I stumbled upon by myself just through self-education. But when I took that assessment test, like, I don't think I got any of them right, but they realized that I had higher test scores on everything else. So they put me in like business math or whatever. And the first day of class, when I walked into classes, the teacher just walks up and she goes, "Hi." And we're all like, "Hi," She goes, "This is math for art students, otherwise known as business math." And she goes, "How many of you are art students?" And everyone in the fucking class raised their hand. And she goes, "Told you so." She goes, "We're going to do things like theoretically counting sheep in story problems." And, and like, we're never going to get into compounding interest and things like that you won't use.
See, I'd be finding the rate of growth of the sheep's fur based on the area.
Yeah.
like
whatever, dude. This is math to say you took math in college, and that's what I hate about college, because I paid thousands of dollars to take that class. And the very minute I walked in, she said, "This is math for people who don't need to take math," essentially. This is math for art students.
Hi, this is my name. You're about to waste your time.
Yeah, you need to understand how to use a compass and a protractor so that you can draw circles well in your art.
Some of it was classes that I just had to take. I didn't give a crap about and ended up thinking it was fucking interesting at the end of it.
Right.
Some of it works, but they haven't quite figured out the rest of it.
Yeah. I remember my freshman year of college at that same community college that you went to. I went to the university as well and got even more disgusted with that. But I like the community college better than I like the university, man. There was real people in my classes in a community college, but man, you go to a university and it's just a big room with some dick hat talking in the front. Yeah, listen to me because I know more than you, And
they call me a prof.
They call me a prof. Fuckers.
Yeah, I went to the one that didn't advertise. I mean, there's seriously 3 colleges locally. One is a private college, one's a community, and one is WMU.
Yeah, public university. Western Michigan University.
So what is the point of advertising in a 10-mile radius of the campus? In a 2-mile, there's advertisements for Western on Western's campus.
Yep.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Did you hear that silence? There's no retort saying that was retarded. It's completely retarded.
Yeah. Let's advertise to our own constituents.
Maybe in
Isn't that propaganda?
the middle of the state
That's
or
Nazi
something.
shit there, dude.
Why would you advertise for something that you're at?
Yeah.
You have to advertise to get people to come to that. You're at that. You don't go to Western and then decide you're going to go to college.
They're just reinforcing brand loyalty is what they're... You're a Bronco. Don't ever fucking forget it.
You're just walking around the campus because it's by your apartment and it's one of your days off from work and you see one of those advertisements and you go, you know, they do have 200 different types of majors here. I should rethink things, not the fact that you're standing amongst the buildings.
Yeah. Dude, last week, Seth was talking about being in Hawaii and how some guy just started singing the Broncos fight song. Like, and
WMU?
yeah. You know, Seth is just trying to make the case that there's people from Michigan everywhere, you know, and I agree with him. Obviously, like, we have a tendency
we
to...
spread out.
Yeah.
The eccentric ones go somewhere eccentric because we're here.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, man. Michigan is always home. Because, I mean,
sure.
Michigan people across the country will still represent Michigan in some way.
Oh, dude, I hate it here, but I love it because I hate it here. Like,
Yeah.
I need something that fosters that feeling in me. I don't want to be complacent. Like,
Yeah.
I want that need to have to better things and find new things and better the crap that's around me. I don't want to live in Manhattan and have a bunch of random faces buying a bunch of random bagels going by me all day.
I would love that. But I always know that I can come back home to Michigan, and I know everybody here. Kalamazoo's not that small of a town, but it's small town enough where if you hang out at the same places every day, you're going to see the same people.
Oh, yeah. Like, how about this one for you? So I go to the gas station kind of early the other morning.
Uh-huh.
Guess who's buying a coffee? Wouldn't matter to anyone else, but some douchebag wearing this tiny little hat and a mustache, which wouldn't mean anything to you until I say that he got into an old turquoise S10. Do you remember that, neighbor?
Oh, no way.
We made him very angry very quickly.
Oh, my God. That guy sucks so much ass. I fucking hate that guy, dude. Mr. Glenn continues to tell me stories about that asshole. Like, everybody that lived in that house ever, like, whether you had a loud TV or if you were talking on the porch or... in our case, if we were playing death metal at top volume in the living room, he would come over and threaten to call the cops. And it was totally an illegitimate argument, man, because you couldn't call the cops for a noise violation at that time in Kalamazoo.
In the middle of the day.
In the middle of the day. And
we were on a main street.
Here's the best thing about it, though, is Kevin is friends with that guy. And so this guy is a psychologist. Like, he's a baccalaureate psychologist. Like, he has a bachelor's degree in psychology and runs a stupid, crappy private practice. Okay?
God.
Now, listen, man. He had written some quote-unquote academic papers that were about 10 pages double-spaced. And he had 2 or 3 of them. I read them at Fourth Coast. And I wrote a blistering critique of them. Just blistering. I was like, you're the most retarded person to ever write an academic paper and try to put it off such. Like, it was the most... He was trying to make...
use the word thesis anywhere near it, you wanted to, like, choke on your own vomit?
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was like a high school paper, you know? Like, I'm going to present my ideas and not back them up whatsoever.
Read To Kill a Mockingbird and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, To Kill a Mockingbird's a glorious book, man. That fucker is well written as all hell.
You would you'd write a good 10-page paper on that.
Yeah, and this guy would write, Atticus Finch was a good lawyer. Like, you know...
I really liked the movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the guy learned psychology by reading a book and answering test questions. And that's how he looks at life, is you see one instance, and that means that instance is... Whoa.
It's noisy.
That was bad.
That's what happens when you kick a boom.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. I'm going to check that out for a second.
You see, he likes to fiddle, and he was just fiddling with the boom.
Oh,
well, it's on, so that's probably why.
Well, no, I just turned it on. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't a destroyed microphone. I mean, I don't exactly have the bucks to be able to just go out and pick one. You know,
you never know with Seth.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was scared of. But no, this was the microphone that Seth used last week, and it looks like it's not malfunctioning. It's functioning properly.
I thought you were going to say, like, disheveled and covered in Pabst.
I'm surprised it doesn't smell of beer.
He's at the Indy right now. That's going on right now, yeah.
That's insane, man. Yeah, he was talking all about that. If you look down and to your left, is there a bunch of like spit marks and shit? Because he was like spitting / puking. He said he was spitooking in the corner after he had taken all that Adderall.
There's a couple weird little blue marks.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man.
Oh man, that guy is just he's too weird. He's too weird to die.
Oh man, too weird to live, too rare to die, I think is the quote that you're grabbing for.
Yeah, it still holds true though.
Oh yeah, man.
I just woke up last week, one of the days, and I go out and I see his stuff and I'm like, oh, Seth's here and he's sleeping on the couch. And I look to my left and there's a giant wooden sign that just says open. And I don't ask any questions. I just look around at the room. No one was awake. Look around, see the sign. I see that Seth is there. I naturally put together the pieces and then just asked him later when I got home about the specific details, like where he stole it from. Because, I mean, you look at the other side and it says closed. You're like, okay, it's an open closed sign. It's a really nice piece of wood. This must have been from a private place, maybe a restaurant that he was sleeping in the parking lot of.
Which is exactly what happened.
It's not really hard to figure out those weird ones, but most people would see that and just be like, what? It's always like CSI at this house.
Before he left Washington, D.C., at the end of the winter, like shortly after I went out and visited him in Washington, D.C., he got fed up with the place and left, and he was talking to me from a parking lot next to a coffee shop in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he was like telling me that he was watching like some kind of confrontation go on across the street from him, and he was Facebook chatting me in real time. I saved the logs, man. It was a priceless conversation. He's like, I can't take this anymore, man. This shit's ridiculous. I'm just gonna live in my car and be homeless for the next year. And I'm like, you're fucking retarded. Like, you'll do that for about 6 months, and then you won't be able to stand it anymore. Whatever. He's like, oh my God, there's guns involved. I'm hiding under a blanket. I'm hiding under this blanket. I'm going to report to you in real time all the events. And then the cops show up and disband the thing or whatever. And he goes on to talk to me about taking DMT in like the mountains of Brazil or something. Just the most random conversations that I ever have with Seth, dude. He's in a parking lot across the country, hiding from first people with guns and then from police, and then goes on to talk to me at length about some monastery on the top of a mountain that we need to pay $2,000 to go to so that we can take DMT and get spat on by priests when we trip the fuck out.
Honestly, the best thing for me is just to be here when the both of you are here, because I'm just an observer in that instance. Like, I'm here and I just get to see what happens. Like, I'll come home and Seth will be here and be like, where's Zach? Oh, that fag's sleeping. I'm gonna go wake him up. And it's not like me where like, hey dude, your alarm's been going off, I don't want you to be late for work. Oh, okay, I'll wake up. He just will bust in and just stand in the doorway and just shout.
Yeah, and he'll shout anything like, sleeping is for pussies, you should fucking get up. Are you a real man? What are you gonna do, sleep away all the day?
Shut up, fag, I've been asleep for 2 hours. Yeah. You should get up, you fucking pussy.
Anytime he's here, I never get to sleep, dude. It's well established, I sleep from 9 to 5, or something close to that, 7 to 3, whatever. You know, I can get by with 6 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep. But it seems that every time that asshole decides to show up, I'm going to bed at 9 a.m. and he's there at 1:30 pounding on the window next to my head just because he knows that my head is right there. Let me in, you piece of shit! You dog fucker! You absolute waste of life! Just out there screaming and berating me like until I get up and answer the door.
Anywhere else in in the city, you do that to a window, you'd get arrested. But you do that to this one window at a specific time, and you can get let in. It's like a magic trick. It's like playing Zelda. You got to find the one tombstone that you move, and you can find the Master Sword. There's one place that you can just come to at any time and just pound on the window.
And he's like, I knew I just needed to pound on the pirate flag window because that's where your head usually is. I was like, you're such a cocksucker, dude. I fucking hate you.
And then you let him in and have some like awesome, great time.
Of course, yeah, dude. And, like, he'll sit down on the couch and be like, oh, you remember when I gamed for like 3 days straight and we totally whooped ass on lost levels?
Dude, 3.
We played all of them, dude.
10.
Yeah.
He was here for a week and a half.
Yeah, a week and a half, and we had the Super Nintendo hooked up to my TV in the living room, and
just nonstop with the same like 5 references of King of Kong. Just nonstop drinking and playing Mario games.
It was ridiculous.
I need to get the most ups.
Yeah, and then we ended like I had to drive my brother to Pennsylvania.
You just came with.
Yeah, I just loaded Seth and Kevin up in the car, and my brother, and I was like, this is gonna be a good 8-hour drive. Like, I'm gonna have Kevin trying to tell everybody that plants can talk, and then I'm gonna have Seth just making fun of everyone and everything, and then my brother just being sarcastic about it all, and me driving and smoking cigarettes like
and
habitually
laughing.
and laughing hysterically because I just think it's all funny, man.
Just get 3 of the most random characters and make them talk to each other.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love it.
It's just funny to watch Seth talk to random people because he just makes it known that he's live.
That's why I'm so excited about doing this documentary in August, man, is because it's essentially that. It's me with a camera and just following Seth talking to people intelligently, but he's so goddamn charismatic that he can just barge his way into any social situation whatsoever and just immediately neutralize it.
Hey there, baby. I see you polishing off that 100-wing basket.
Sexy. Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. And he just comes up with that shit off the cuff, dude. Like, the guy's a walking treasure trove of one-liners. Like, he just hears something, remembers it, and he can spout it off in a second, man. It's awesome.
You should wake up and stop being a fag.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and Seth is the last person to go around calling people fag unless he knows that it's in jest. And that's the beauty about it, is because he's dancing the lines that everybody is afraid to go near.
He will definitely just, like, if someone says something, even if he doesn't know him, he'll just look at him and kind of like half laugh and just be like, dude, that's retarded.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's something they believe in.
Like, oh yeah.
Wholeheartedly, he'll just look at him and be like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
And he may agree with you 100%, but he's just gonna say it because that's what came to his mind. And you hang out with the guy for a couple hours and you realize that that's the game. So it's just a constant
that's
back
why
and
I like.
forth.
That's why I like watching the two of you, because I never like get involved. It's just hearing the two of you shit talk.
We just argue about things we both know each other approve of.
Give me that lighter. You keep taking it. Oh, you don't even have any fucking room to talk about how many lighters you're taking. And I just laugh.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to live in a car with him for 2 weeks.
I mean, what are you supposed
insane.
to do, though, when somebody you just know is going to show up at your house, and then they do, holding a 30-pack of PBR, and they're just like, you want a beer? And it's like 2 p.m.
Yeah, man, that's let's get drunk.
What do you have to do? Nothing? Well, now you do.
or hey, I got this gun. Let's go find a good spot in the woods to go shoot it. It's totally not registered.
Yeah, a gun that's like smaller than the size of your palm.
Yeah. That fucker was loud, dude, before it broke, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's a snub nose.
Yeah.
There's no room for that sound to go.
It was loud as shit, dude. It had a little bit of kickback, too. It's such a little tiny bastard, shooting off fucking 25. Well, 25. It was 25 center fire, but close enough to a 22 that there's really no discernible difference, except for a 22 long rifle is like 3 feet long, and this fucking thing was like 4 inches long.
A 22 Magnum shell would have been a third of the length of the barrel.
I could barely fit my man finger into the trigger guard.
You both had like little skin marks from where it was kicking back.
Yeah, and
The
pinching.
guard was hitting you. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good gun to shoot, though. I liked it.
I like shooting guns. I mean, I live in the city now, but I used to shoot a lot of guns at a lot of things. Like back when I lived in the country, like it would be nighttime and my mom would just be like, the magic light turned on, go get the gun. And I would just go grab whatever gun I was feeling like shooting and load it and then go outside and there'd probably be something tearing at the grill and I'd go blast it away and throw its ass across the street and laugh about it.
Dead animals are fun to play with.
You ever shot wildlife?
I've shot at wildlife. I've never hit it.
Oh, dude, I've got some good stories about like animals that were messing my stepdad's garden up. So he would catch them in a live trap and be like, I need you to go kill that and take care of it. I'm like, okay. So for a while there, I used to just walk up to it with a gun and shoot it. Like 22 pistol. I just put it to its head and shoot it.
Hello, poor defenseless animal. I'm about to end your life.
This is what you get for picking like a manicured place to eat.
Yeah. Oops.
The best though was he said that to me one time. He said, yeah, it's in the live trap outside out by the pool. He said, you can get the 22 that's upstairs. I said, okay. So I go upstairs, and there was the handgun which he was mentioning, but we had borrowed my grandpa's 22 Magnum long rifle with a scope on it.
Yes.
So instead of walking back down there with the handgun, a year or two prior, he had cut a little slit in the screen so he could shoot at stuff that was going toward the pool and whatnot.
The Plainwell clock tower.
So I go up in his bathroom upstairs, and I put the clip in a long rifle and take the thing off the end of the scope and just put the barrel out of a window. Like, I hope my grandparents were watching next door for this. Like, all of a sudden there's just a barrel coming out of the window upstairs. And all of a sudden you just hear a loud-ass shot crack, not only outside, but all the way through the inside, because I fired it in the bathroom. And I just looked down and I shot the raccoon once that was in the live trap. And it started freaking out because it just got hit by a bullet, but from nowhere. And I just proceeded to unload the other 6 right into it with the scope up there from the window. It only
brutality.
It only needed 1, but I was just sniping at something in a cage. So I was like, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Obviously.
I'd say probably the funniest one though was I got home from school. It was 3 p.m. No one's home, and we had seen a crap ton of raccoons the night before picking at shit. I look to my left, and about 20 feet from the front door is a family of raccoons. Like, 1 adult and probably 5 miniatures just chilling. And literally behind the door, right next to the door that I'm walking in, is that fully loaded 7-shot rifle.
Awesome.
I take 1 shot off the deck to hit the big one so it wouldn't run away. Put 1 more in it, and then just walked around and shot all of the babies, and then went inside and took pictures so my stepdad could see. And what was funny is he actually put those up on his AOL.
Oh, God.
He was so proud of that. Look at this raccoon massacre. It's just the things you do when you're in the country.
Anything to pass the time, man.
You kill animals that are on your property, and then you take pictures of it because it's funny. Like, that's gruesome. I want to look at that again. No, you didn't. Oh, I've got pictures. No, you didn't.
You just take the pictures to prove that,
Oh.
that it happened. We used to go roadkill painting when I was in high
Painting?
school. Yeah, we would just get a can of pink spray paint and go paint the roadkill pink. Just go find dead raccoons and possums and deer and just paint them pink.
Like markers?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pink?
Yeah, I don't know why the fuck we did it. We were in high school. You know, we couldn't buy beer and just sit around and get drunk. We had to drive around and waste gas money and buy things at Meijer and go use them. Like,
I just like shot at stuff and set things on fire and made minor bombs and stuff. Like,
Oh man, we would go around and spray paint roadkill. I'd go to the bowling alley and like throw apple juice containers into big groups of like rich kids. Just
well, like with the cap on?
no. They'd get apple juice all over them and get all pissed. They knew it was me. They'd come up to me at school the next day and be like, "I knew you were throwing fucking apple juice again." It's like, "Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about." I would always drink apple juice for some reason, so I'd get a gallon of apple juice and drink it at band practice, and then we'd go to the bowling alley and it'd be like half full, and I'd just toss it at them into the crowd. You know, I'd hit one or two. Like one day, this kid, I can't remember his name, just some dumb fuck. He had a bruise on his forehead. I was passing him just casually, and I overheard him say, "Some fucking asshole at the bowling alley hit me in the face with some apple juice." Like, yes.
I remember a good friend of mine, I was kind of having a conversation like that with him, but it was more like driving. Mm-hmm. He said, "Oh, back in Detroit, we used to have a good one that we used to do. You'd take the pennies from like your ashtray, and you put them in your palm, and you take your like left hand out the driver window, and you just kind of like put your hand down flat, like on the middle, on the top of your car, and wait till the people got pretty close tailgating you, and just lift your hand up, and they would just get hit by flying pennies." Oh man, I can't even imagine how much like property damage and friggin' anger that caused. The person's already tailgating you, so they're in a hurry to do something somewhere. And then they get hit with pennies and probably crack their windshield and scratch the paint.
It's 420.
Shit. Yeah, take your headphones off, fool. I'm trying to walk across this crap.
I'm gonna go buy some coffee from the coffee maker upstairs.
Well, and just leave me down here? Yeah. Oh, okay, I see how it is. Well, whatever, I finally have everything how I want it. That asshole's gone. Leading into his devices. Oh, look at me, I can't wake up. I'm not on a normal schedule. I need to be caffeinated. Friggin' stupid asshole. Hey, look, I'm gonna leave and go upstairs right in the middle of a radio show. At least I don't have the courtesy to give my partner the fair warning or have a co-host that he can commiserate with. Oh, look, I hear him running down again. Oh, what? Did you want to join us? I kept this shit rolling. I'm not going to interrupt. Just because you leave doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Hey, you don't have much cord there, buddy.
Yeah, I need an extension for these headphones. More money to spend. My mic keeps slowly sinking down because it's a heavy mic on a cheap mic stand.
At a crazy angle that's flat.
I know.
If you just like lowered the stand or changed the angle, it'd be fine, but it's just flat, so it's like, how can I completely fight gravity? I'll put it like this.
Yeah. I don't have much room to work with here. There's all sorts of cables and tables and desks and broken guitars over here that I have to fight
breaking
space
guitars
with.
is fun.
It is.
Nothing like breaking a guitar in your driveway and having your neighbors come out and asking you why you did that. Oh, it's broken anyway.
Oh yeah, sometimes you just gotta smash a guitar.
It's good for the soul. It's like whiskey.
Oh man.
How's the schmaffy?
It's delicious. I'm drinking some Sumatran coffee. And, the way I've been drinking it these days is I brew it a little heavy and then just mix it with cold water so I can drink it right away.
Isn't that what you do with women?
Fill it up halfway with the water so I can drink it right away.
Have it a little heavy. Hit it with cold water.
Here, baby, eat out of this dog dish.
What are you doing in there? Making you a steak. You don't even form it. It's still in the shape of the can.
Yeah. It's can-shaped steak.
I think that's the sign of the day. I need to go into a grocery store and get can-shaped steak.
Can-shaped steak.
Because spam isn't quite there.
I stumbled upon an article today about a Swiss canned cheeseburger, or I think it was Switzerland somewhere. They're making cheeseburgers in a can. And it's got everything, man, like the onions and the tomatoes and the pickles and the mustard and the ketchup.
No bread, though.
Oh, the bread.
What?
Yeah, and the meat. It's all there. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a canned cheeseburger. I don't know how they did it. Like, to can things, you have to boil them and shit, dude. I don't know how that works, but apparently it does.
That's like
maybe it's just stuck into a can and just it's so full of preservatives. Yeah, exactly. It's vacuum packed and then sealed, and it's good for a year, man. Just
keep
eat a
you
hamburger.
alive 20 minutes longer. It's so full of preservatives.
Yeah. It's like getting stuffed with natron before mummification. Like
that's like the website I found that was just fat recipes. It was something like whyamericasfat.com or something like that.
It's I've seen shit like that.
Happy Meal pizza. That was one of my favorites so far. Is you just get the largest, extra large, grande, whatever size pizza you can from your local fat pizzeria, and then you buy 4 Happy Meals, like 2 of each kind, and proceed to just break them up, distribute it amongst the toppings as if it was part of the toppings because it's Happy Meal pizza. So, you get a slice, and every once in a while you got part of a burger, or even got a chicken nugget on top of like a meat lover's pizza. It's so completely unnecessary. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's beyond unnecessary. Chicken nuggets on pizza. It's disgusting, dude.
It's disgusting, but I want to try it once. Just get a 20-piece and just throw it down on it.
So you can just say that you did.
Yeah.
One time I ate a pizza with chicken nuggets on it. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
I know.
Yes, it was.
But I still ate it.
It was good.
Yeah, man. Chicken nuggets in marinara sauce. Gotta love it.
See, you don't hit the fan until you get chicken selects. You get a 10-piece select and put it on a pizza. Now you've crossed that pinnacle.
Yeah, dude, those fuckers are thick too, man. Like you'd get like a big ass bite of chicken.
Well, I'd probably break them up, not just
Yeah,
put
I
whole
guess.
ones. Just put them like giant sardines on each one of the slices.
Like I always think about the aesthetics of the food that I'm cooking, so I would leave them intact just because that's the way it looks, And I would just throw it on the pizza like per slice. Like you get one big ass chicken piece.
What if you did that with snack wraps? There's just a snack wrap on every slice.
Yeah, snack wrap pizza, dude. What the hell? Why not?
Dude, snack wrap pizza.
I saw a picture of a pizza that had hot dogs rolled in bread for crust. So, like stuffed crust pizza, but with hot dogs.
Hot dogs?
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous?
That's some timing that you'd have to get right. Like, those have to be like partially frozen or something. Mm-hmm. Those don't have to cook very long.
No, I mean, when they're inside dough, the cooking process gets thwarted a little bit.
Oh, man, put ballparks in there so you've just got like this
they plump when you're
giant
cooking.
roll in the crust.
Oh, God. That's so disgusting, dude. Pizza on hot dogs. Who the fuck thought of that?
I did something the other day.
I want to say it was the Japanese. I think it was a pizza in Japan, the picture. I don't remember that well.
I felt really good the other day. I made a pork chop at like 2 p.m, and I put mozzarella cheese on the top of it, and then put like 4 pieces of bacon on top of that.
That's disgusting.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Oh man. Piggy puke.
It was like a pig, cow, pig Oreo.
Pig, cow, pig Oreo. Oh man.
There's nothing better than having 2 conflicting times of eating.
Yeah,
you're tasting breakfast and dinner.
Did you call it the vegan delight? It's completely made out of the things that you won't eat.
I think I just called it the assalamu alaikum. There's seriously nothing better than just eating a pork chop with bacon on it in the middle of the afternoon and watching people drive by and look at you.
Yeah, I'm eating a pork chop. It's got bacon on it. And cheese.
Drinking milk. You're not even having a beer. I'm drinking milk.
For all you vegans out there, that's what you're missing. No animal products at all, huh?
Yeah, I don't think I would just like go up to an animal's breast and start sucking on it. But give me some machines and some dude's last names being involved in there somewhere, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah, everything's better pasteurized. I love the English language too, because it's something that some guy named Pasteur invented, so it's called pasteurize. Like you eyes it, like
that's
the
what
English language is.
That's what
so
I always
cool.
liked, that Pfizer was downtown, because that's the opposite of that thing. Like Pasteur was known for that, but some people don't want to be known for what they made, so they called it Pfizer instead of napalm.
No, like the Spanish name. That's really funny though. Pfizer instead of napalm. And anyway, the Spanish name for like anything, you just add like Darrow on the end of it, like
Bandolero.
like someone who plays a whatever that is,
A bandle.
a bandle. It's the structure of language, but like metalero would be like metalhead. My understanding of the Spanish language is kind of limited, but
Mine is a hell of a lot more.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's something to that effect. Like, I had this conversation with some English and Spanish college level studiers.
Studiers?
Yeah, man, I'm just slaughtering the English language right now.
Some students?
Yeah, some students. Thank you, man.
Some people that take books and they keep reading them. I don't know
I'm
why.
trying to think of another language. It's like just a few minutes ago, Kenny hands me a thing of coffee. He goes, "I can't fucking read this. It's in like one part is in German, and that part is two paragraphs, 2 paragraphs long, and the other side has both Italian and English on it." And so I'm, banging through the German. I know it a little bit, and then I'm, banging through the Italian. I can at least pronounce the stuff, not so much the Italian, but the German more so. And and then he just looks at it and goes, "Oh, it's English."
I said there is some English on here.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing though, is that the German side took 2 paragraphs, and then on the opposite side for the translations into English and Italian, it only took 1 paragraph. That's why you gotta love German, man. Oh man, languages are cool. I obviously prefer English because that's my native tongue.
I think your camera just died on me.
Oh,
I was taking pictures.
oh, that's unfortunate.
I was taking a picture for posterity.
Posterity.
We got a shit ton of bees. Oh, I have to stop myself from talking in the band voice a lot, just because it's funnier. It's so funny. It's so much fun to talk retarded like that.
Mm.
We're going to go down to the museum and look at statues.
Well, I have to work in 30 minutes. Apparently, I'm not going to shave today.
Oh, I thought you say apparently I'm not going to make it to work into the right time again today.
No, yeah.
Hey, at least you'll be close.
Yeah, at least I'm not 5 hours late today like I was yesterday. That was bad news, man. My boss called. He goes, "Oh, you're there." I'm like, yeah,
made it.
I made it, man. He goes, "Oh, I was going to just text you and tell you not to rush considering I already covered your shift." He's like, "You can just send him home." I'm like, okay. I stumble in there. I'm like, I gotta go puke for a second. Like, this is the same people that were there at 4:00 in the morning when I was there the night before to lock the door.
Yeah, you've done that so many times that, like, if that comes up every once in a while, they're just like, oh, we gotta give that psycho a break.
Yeah, exactly. He basically goes, "Yeah, shit happens. I know you were there at 4 a.m. It's not like I, wasn't surprised that you were sleeping."
Wake up.
I'm like, dude, you know what happened? I was just trying to stay up, and I fell asleep at my desk, and somehow I made it to my bed, and I woke up 5 hours later. I'm sorry, dude.
You know that something's amiss. I just happened to see you like 30 seconds before you woke up, and I looked and just started laughing because you were. It's kind of hard to describe, but you got a king size bed and you usually sleep kind of like in the far corner away from the door and facing the like correct direction. Like, your feet would be like facing out and your head's toward the wall on the outside. And I opened the door, and you're like as close as you could be to me, like to the door, like completely on the other corner, like head almost off the edge of the bed, like knees up, just facing the wrong way on the wrong side and end of the bed. I'm like, wow, what happened?
And yeah.
Guinness.
No good. Yeah. Guinness and Jaeger. I wasn't even planning on drinking that night. It happened.
Yeah, and we didn't even figure it out, but you had like 2 Guinness in about 30 minutes.
Yeah, we went to the bar
close it out.
Yeah, we
were there
closed
for
it
like
out.
30 minutes and had 2 Guinness. Like,
Yeah, and a shot of Jaeger too, man.
You did?
Oh, you did too. We both took shots of Jaeger.
There?
Yes. I paid for it, man. My tab was $30.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I paid for 4 Guinness and 2 shots of Jaeger.
I don't remember doing a shot of Jaeger.
Yeah,
there.
you did. And then I dropped you. Maybe that's why your pants ended up in the kitchen after I dropped you off. I'm no better, dude. I dropped Kenny off and I went and I sat in my friend's kitchen and tried to train her little dog with Honey Nut Cheerios, like trying to get it to lay down. We were sitting there for an hour and a half just yelling at this dog and giving it treats every once in a while. It never worked. And then I got called into work. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm never going to sleep tonight. It's just not going to happen. And then I woke up at 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, fuck, I had to be to work at 10. I think I kicked the ladder too. I stubbed my toe on it. That pissed me
Yeah, you
off.
kicked the step ladder in the
Yeah.
kitchen. You just kind of kicked it with the side of your foot and gave me this look. And you're just like, I was supposed to be at work 5 hours ago.
Yeah, dude. I don't mind being a couple minutes late for work, but hours is no good. They all make fun of me though, because I just can't show up on time. They just don't.
You're not even going to today.
Oh, I know, dude. They don't understand all of the shit that I do. Like, they think that I just sit around at home and drink, but I'm like painting pictures and recording music and like staying up at all hours of the night fixing computers and guitars and shit. You know, like, they just have no fucking idea what I do day to day. They just
They
think
think
I'm
you're
the
an
crazy guy
alcoholic,
with
but
tattoos.
You're actually like a geek. Like,
Yeah, I'm a total geek, dude. I just sit around here and fucking play with electronic shit.
But
all
when
day
you're
long.
around them, you just pretend like you don't do that, and you just
Yeah.
exacerbate. You're like, I'm a fucking raging drunk. It's
Yeah,
all
dude.
I do.
Yeah, man. And then I go home and I don't drink that often. I mean,
I'll make
I
'em
was
believe
bad for a while, but you know, I don't know, man. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna ruin his life getting drunk. I have so many better things to do. I just really happen to enjoy drinking. You know,
Like going to work.
dude, going to work is a big excuse to get drunk. If you work at a restaurant, dude, you just got to take the edge off somehow. You know,
All those people.
yeah, dude, if you're working an 11-hour shift overnight, it's just the worst shit in the world, dude. You never wanted. It's awful. It's terrible, dude. Working until 6 in the morning, it sucks.
Well, time to go do it.
Yeah, speaking of which, I guess I'm going to roll it off there.
I think I'm gonna finish this grape soda.
All right, have fun. You have been listening to the new Scum Fix. We'll talk to you next week.
I've always had the worst luck. Seems like I'm stuck in a rut. Society tells